Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christine and I'm here to help you expand your consciousness, fully realize your true authentic self, and tap into the spiritual guidance that is within and around them. And if you're new to the spiritual journey or you're just getting started, remember to click subscribe below and the notification bell button so you don't miss any future videos on expansion and growth. Today I'm going to show you how to communicate telepathically in one day and receive proof within 48 hours. But to be honest, it can be less than 48 hours. Sometimes it's even instantly. So what exactly is telepathy? Telepathy is the ability to transmit messages, words, emotions, or images through someone else's mind. Telepathy can work one or both ways depending on the individuals and their state of being. And the truth is we're always telepathically communicating with other people. That's why when you're observing a tree and then you're thinking something and then your friend right next to you is saying the exact same thing verbally. Or when you're thinking of texting someone but that person texts you at the same time that you text them. So it's kind of like this communication, this message within their mind that's like, hey, let's text this person. It's kind of like a message that you sent them and they sent you, and then you just start texting each other at the same time. So that's how you telepathically communicate with each other. Sometimes people are aware of it, sometimes they're not aware of it. And you can always communicate telepathically with them, but sometimes they're unaware of communicating it back with you because maybe they don't believe in telepathy or they don't know about it. But nonetheless, you can still send them messages even if they don't know about it, and they can still receive your messages. And that's also kind of like part of the law of attraction. So we'll just get into that later. You can telepathically connect with anything and anyone. So you can connect with people, you can connect with animals, you can also connect with plants and trees and objects. So keep that in mind. Just be open-minded that we are all made of energy and we're able to send energy as well and emit energy. So the same thing as buildings, they have energies, they have stories of the past, and they can also have stories about the future that they can tell you, and they can let you know their energy and feel your energy. The same thing with people. They have something to say, they want to feel something, they want you to know something. They can let you know that through them feeling it. And there's also the cord of attachment cords or cord of attachments, where when you're really connected with something, someone, or even habits, you have this connection with it. So for an example, if you had an ex-best friend or an ex-boyfriend or a current boyfriend, girlfriend, you probably have a cord of attachment. And with that, it means that you're able to transmit messages through this cord. So if you're feeling something about them, if you're thinking about something about them, if you want to send them love, you can do it through this cord of attachment, and they feel exactly what you feel to a certain extent. So how exactly does telepathy work? So telepathy is not something that's like really proven. It's kind of like beyond the physical senses. You're communicating with your mind. So it's not like you can smell something or you see like a visual image of something, or physically feel something, right? This is like a psychic ability, being able to psychically communicate with someone, but there's really no proven way to tell if you're actually communicating with them. It's just kind of like a spiritual connection between the two of you. So how do you communicate with someone telepathically? So the how part is basically you have to really focus. The first step is to put yourself in intense concentration. The second step is to align with their vibration. So you have to feel happy, you have to feel content, you have to be relaxed and calm in order to tap into that narrow frequency where you can send messages to them in any way, shape, or form, through emotions, through thoughts, through images, so that they can receive it. And then the third step is to actually just send the message or whatever it is that you want them to know or want them to do. So let's break these steps down so you can understand it just a little bit better. So the first step is to choose someone that you want to communicate with. It can be someone very close to you, someone that you haven't talked to for months or years. It doesn't matter who. Just pick someone that you want to connect with, and make sure that you choose someone who's going to benefit you if they're going to return back into your life, because you don't want to have bad energy coming back into your life if it already ended. So be conscious when you choose who to connect with again. The second step is to set an intention to connect with whoever it is that you want to connect. The third step is to think of happy times with this person to raise your vibration and to create a deeper bond with this person. The fourth step is to just send a message. So if you want them to send you a text, then just set an intention that you want them to send you a text. Or if you want them to call you, just let them know. Or if you have something specific you want them to talk about to you, then do that. Like if you want them to ask you out to go to a movie, just set the intention that you want them to ask you out to go to the movies. Or if you want to go to the park together, then set an intention that that's the conversation they will start with you through text or through phone calls. And the fifth step is to release this thought and just let it go into the universe. And that's why I say it's similar to the law of attraction when you're communicating with people, because you're setting an intention, you feel good about it, and you see it happening, you kind of visualize it happening, and then you just send it out into the universe, and then you release the thought and don't think about it too much, because when you think about it too much, that's when you create a lack mentality, right? You want to be able to, you want to believe it, you want to trust that the process is actually working, which is why it's like the law of attraction. But when we're communicating with animals and plants and nature, it's kind of like it's completely different than communicating with people, because animals are much more open and nature is much more open to communicating telepathically with you, and that is their first language, by communicating through their minds using images, feelings, sensations, whatever it is. But it's almost like it's like honestly like being really psychic when you're communicating with animals, because when we're communicating with people, a lot of the times people aren't open to this, and it's not like you have full on conversations with the other person, right? So it's not like you send out a message to that person saying, hey, text me, and then the other person say, oh, how come you want me to text you? It doesn't work like that unless you're both people are completely connected. But with animals, they are already completely connected, and so you don't have to try to force a full-on conversation. You can actually just tap into their energy and communicate with them. And when you're communicating with animals, you can actually get verification from their owners to confirm whether it's true or not. And you can ask verifiable questions so that the owners can confirm it for you. Then once you develop your telepathic skills, you don't necessarily always have to ask verifiable questions, because then you'll start to understand what it feels like to receive accurate information from animals. And because telepathy is a psychic ability, it's not something that can be proven medically or scientifically. It's just something that, like images, emotions, symbols that you send through your mind to someone else or something else, and then you just start connecting with each other that way. It's more of like a spiritual type of work. It's more of like an intuitive type of work, which honestly can't really be measured by modern science. Science has a long way to go to understand more about psychic abilities, psychic development, and tuning into different psychic abilities and intuition. So honestly, it does take practice, because there isn't always concrete ways to prove something, because even when you're communicating with animals, you don't always get concrete proof, right? Because a lot of things can't be verified or confirmed to be true, even though it may be true. And that's the same thing with people. Sometimes you communicate with them and then you feel like they're communicating back with you, but you can't always confirm that with other people. So it's kind of like a little bit mystical, but I'll also show you how to communicate with animals as well, which I find to be much easier because they're completely open, like I've mentioned before. So I'm going to show you the steps on how to communicate with animals. So the first step to connecting with animals is to get permission from their owners first. So make sure you ask that, because you don't want to be tuning into other animals or other people without getting their permission first. Unless they're wild animals, you don't necessarily have to, but I would recommend tuning into people who already have animals, who have some ways of confirming your answers and your questions. The second step is to ground yourself so that you are stable. You want to become balanced and stable when you're connecting with other animals. If you have bad energy in you, most likely they're not want to connect with you, and they will stay away from that type of energy. So when you ground yourself, you're kind of like releasing all the negativity down your grounding cord into the earth. The third step is to open up your crown chakra and connect it to the Akashic records. Tap into the Akashic records. So what I normally like to do with this is just visualize my crown chakra opening up into the cosmos, and I just visualize like a really big library, and the big library basically represents the Akashic records, since it's basically a memory holder of all things that has ever happened or will happen, and it's just basically like It has memories of literally everything in this whole universe, all the galaxy, and even things that we don't even know, and information from other galactic beings and extraterrestrials, light beings, and starseeds, light workers. Open your mind to that. Open your crown chakra to that. So let's repeat that one more time just so we're on the same page. First step is to get permission from the owners to connect with their animals. The second is to ground yourself, release any negativity. Third step is to open up your crown chakra and connect to the Akashic records of memories and information. The fourth step is to open up your third eye, which is right here. And for me, all I do is basically visualize what my third eye looks like and visualize it expanding beyond my space, like feeling it expanding really, really big. And that's, for me, it's like opening up my third eye. And then fifth, open up your heart, because when you're connecting with animals, you definitely have to have compassion, love, and connection with them. So you want to open up your heart and connect with their hearts when you're communicating. Then the sixth step is you basically connect with the animals, and then you basically just ask questions, and then you just start having a two-way conversation. You ask a question, they answer you. You can ask them like things that they like to do and get to know them. You don't always have to ask verifiable questions, but it is recommended that you ask at least 3 verifiable questions just so that the owners can confirm to you whether you are right or wrong. But then again, some things are also unverifiable. So yeah, guys, you see how connecting with animals and nature is a little bit more different than connecting with people, because when we're connecting with beings who are much more connected, much more open to communicating telepathically and already knows how to do it, it's easier to have a full-on conversation. But for people, a lot of the times we just send images or words or emotions to them, and they still don't know that we're trying to communicate with them. They just have a pop or an idea or inspiration pop up in their head, like, oh, give this person a phone call, or give that person a phone call, or we're thinking the exact same thing. But it's not like you're having a full-on conversation with each other unless both people are fully connected, fully aware that they're trying to that the other person's trying to connect to them at the moment. Which, back in the days, the very, very old days, where there wasn't a lot of technology, that's how tribes connect with each other. That's how they communicate when someone passed away or stuff like that. But nowadays, people have lost that connection, and so it's all about building up that connection again. And depending on you and your focus and the other person as well, you can expect to receive information or contact with this person either instantly or within a few days. Sometimes it might take a few weeks, depending on how slow or fast the communication goes through and how strong your desire is and how strong your energy is. So some tips that I would recommend is to be completely open to the idea of communicating telepathically. Don't be it's okay to be skeptical, but be open even though you're skeptical. I would also recommend that you try doing this technique with someone that you already know and you still talk to, and you have an intimate relationship with, like a really close friend or sister or brother or boyfriend. And also try this technique with someone that you haven't talked to for months, because you do want to test out that this technique actually works for you. So there you go, guys. That's how you communicate telepathically with other people, animals, nature, objects, or whatever you want to connect with. It's all about your intention, how you connect to them, and them actually being open to receiving it. So I hope that you enjoyed the video and give it a try. Let me know in the comments below what happened, and if you were able to receive messages from them, or if they were able to like get your message. Remember, intention is a key. If you have an intention that you want them to text you and talk about a specific subject with you, then remember to watch out for that and see how long it takes for that to happen, and tweak yourself to see if you're able to do it a little bit quicker. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, if you enjoyed, click like and comment below again what happened, because I'm really curious to know what happened and if you guys were able to make this technique work for you. And thank you so much, guys. If you want to learn more about spirituality, remember to visit my website at spirittarotguide.com, and I'm also a tarot reader, so you can book an appointment with me on there as well. And I will see you guys next time.